If you are a watcher of the royal family and you like secrets, you might want to sit down because this is a doozy.
Yeah, boy.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
I said Meghan Markle is, of course, a lifelong feminist, which she's demonstrated by marrying a prince and giving up her job.
I think Harry's a f***ing twat. Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's f***ing life is hard.
Yeah,
you were
true.
the prince of a
That's true.
goddamn country who dressed up as a f***ing Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
Harry is an idiot.
You're goddamn right.
He signed up to fight in the Afghanistan war. That was a dumb move. You're a f***ing prince. What are you doing that shit for?
Stephen Colbert just destroyed Meghan and Harry for acting like their couple nicknames deserved a public announcement. They made a big deal out of something completely ordinary, which is typical of how they operate. But Stephen wasn't the only one laughing at them. What followed was a complete entertainment industry pile-on that spread across every platform. Late night hosts, stand-up comedians, podcast personalities, and even animated cartoon all reached the same conclusion about Harry and Meghan. Nobody was holding back anymore. But that's not all. Sharon Osbourne, who knows a thing or two about family dysfunction, gave some powerful advice to Meghan about reconciliation with her father. We'll get to Sharon's story in a bit, but first you need to see how the entire entertainment industry turned against them. It started with the late night hosts, who made Meghan and Harry prime targets on their shows.
What is the number one question that mystifies scientists?
Is there life on another planet?
Oh no, why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
It's another bag.
And that confuses people.
This, we're just gonna put into a different bag.
This pretzel repackaging became a symbol of everything fake about Meghan's lifestyle brand. She's not creating anything, just putting existing products in prettier packaging to sell an illusion. It's the perfect metaphor for her entire post-royal career: style over substance, packaging over product. But Fallon wasn't the only late-night host calling out their contradictions. Jimmy Kimmel exposed the logical flaw in their entire escape narrative.
Harry said racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which you know things are bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism.
Harry using racism as justification for moving to America reveals how little thought went into their exit strategy. They didn't have a plan, they just wanted out and grabbed whatever excuse sounded sympathetic. Picking one of the worst destinations to escape racial issues shows this was about leaving, not about where they were going. But perhaps the most systematic destruction came from Colin Jost on Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK that will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
Nobody wants to claim them anymore. The Brits hate them for their non-stop attacks on the royal family, and Americans are tired of their constant drama and victim narratives. They've made themselves unwelcome in both countries, so maybe they should try moving to some remote island where nobody has to hear their complaints. Although knowing them, they'd probably start a feud with the local wildlife within a week.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
Both men had real purpose and threw it away for distractions. Elon had Tesla and SpaceX changing industries. Harry had royal duty spanning centuries. Now one's tanking a social media platform and the other's doing Oprah interviews. The trade-off doesn't make sense for either of them.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Harry left the royal family to gain independence, but ended up completely dependent on Meghan's entertainment deals. He doesn't work, he doesn't create content, he's just along for the ride. That's not freedom, that's just switching who controls your life.
Whenever the kids are being fussy and not going to bed, she puts on an episode of Suits and they're out. So, what are you doing? Ow! Stop it! Yeah. Stop it!
Suits was boring as hell, the kind of show only desperate cable TV addicts would sit through.
I keep getting these dating site pop-ups. It's like my computer's accusing me of being single.
Boring!
Meghan's acting was so unremarkable that the show is completely forgettable. Royal life didn't interrupt her acting career, it rescued her from complete irrelevance. While late night was brutal, stand-up comedians went even harder because they don't answer to network censors. Starting with Joe Coy, who delivered multiple roasts at the Golden Globes.
Just a great series about a rich, white, dysfunctional family, all scheming. Oh no, that's The Crown. That's The Crown. I'm sorry.
The royal family acts exactly like a TV show about rich people behaving badly. When your real life is as messy as scripted drama, you can't claim to be dignified anymore. Harry and Meghan, who were initially mostly loved by the public, are now just the newest example of that royal chaos playing out in real time.
How great was Imelda Staunton in The Crown? Wasn't she amazing? Her portrayal of the Queen was so good. Prince Harry called her and asked her for money.
Harry walked away from guaranteed royal funding and now relies on uncertain entertainment deals that could disappear tomorrow. The jokes about him being desperate for cash land harder because he genuinely traded lifetime financial security for temporary streaming contracts.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
That joke landed in a room full of people who actually work for their money. Netflix gave them $100 million and got minimal content in return, while actual creators are grinding out multiple projects to justify much smaller deals. The resentment from working entertainers is real, and that resentment extended beyond just American entertainers. British comedian Simon Brodkin went viral for his brutally honest take on their documentary.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them.
Simon gave them every opportunity to win him over, and they failed spectacularly. Their documentary was supposed to be their chance to control the narrative and gain sympathy, but it backfired completely. When you have someone's attention and still make them hate you more, the problem isn't the audience, it's you.
They started off and they're making interesting points about racism and misogyny. Then they start calling each other H and M, and I just thought, oh, do f*** off.
They had a platform to discuss real issues and wasted it by making everything about themselves. The moment they started treating their relationship like a corporate brand with matching initials, they lost any credibility they might have had. You can't be serious advocates when you're acting like lifestyle influencers.
Harry starts describing this one date with Meghan as the night, let me quote you here, me and M pulled the pin on a fun grenade. I actually started rooting for Prince Andrew.
Harry's attempt at poetic writing is so cringe, it made someone root for the most controversial royal. That takes genuine talent in the worst way possible. His memoir reads like a middle schooler trying to sound deep, not a grown man reflecting on his life.
They were complaining that to pay for their own security, they were not happy about that. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
They're treating easily affordable expenses as if they're crippling financial burdens, when those same costs would be life-changing luxuries for regular people. Framing security payments they can clearly afford as hardship shows how disconnected they are. That gap between their reality and their complaints is exactly why their victim narrative falls flat. But the British comedy scene wasn't done with them yet. British comedian Jimmy Carr added his own savage observations.
The royal family, right, if you can imagine, they're like our Kardashian. Prince Harry is very much our Kanye. He occasionally dresses as a Nazi, and he f***ed up.
Harry's public behavior has become so erratic that comparing him to Kanye actually makes sense. Both had stability and purpose, then made increasingly bizarre decisions that alienated everyone around them. The Nazi costume just proves Harry's judgment has been questionable from the start.
Harry and Meghan say they'd now like to split their time between spending your money in the UK and spending your money in Canada.
They want taxpayer-funded lifestyles in multiple countries while contributing nothing and actively criticizing those institutions. That's not independence, that's wanting all the benefits with none of the responsibility. But between all these jokes, Sharon Osbourne ended up actually giving some valuable advice to Meghan regarding her father. We'll get to Sharon in a bit, but before that, you need to see how the mockery spread even further to podcast hosts who reach millions with unfiltered takes. Andrew Schultz, who hosts the Flagrant podcast, delivered one of the most blunt assessments.
I mean this sincerely, Prince Harry and Meghan, we don't give a f***. America don't give a f*** about you.
A lot of people care, dude.
We don't care about the royal family.
They got a Netflix show.
We never cared about nothing that had to do with y'all.
Schultz is voicing what most Americans actually feel. Nobody here ever cared about the royal family. It's a British obsession that doesn't translate. Harry and Meghan move to a country that has zero interest in their drama, then act confused when nobody sympathizes with their problems.
Keep your shows, keep your drama, keep all that nonsense. That's for you British people to fake care about. We do not give a f***. We don't care.
Americans didn't ask for their shows, their interviews, or their constant victim narratives. They brought British tabloid drama to a country that fought a war to stop caring about royalty. The fact that they're still trying to make themselves relevant here shows how disconnected they are. But perhaps the most systematic takedown came from Bill Maher, who took a more analytical approach.
They want it both ways. You know, you can't be, these people were so mean to us and poor us, and we don't want all this attention, and then let me write a book about how much we don't want attention.
Every time they do an interview or release content, they undermine their own privacy complaints. You can't monetize your story while simultaneously claiming you want to be left alone. Pick one or the other, you can't have both.
They just strike me as creatures of that generation. You know, you're just fragile. Just take a hint from the Queen, the recently departed.
Never complain, never explain, and rarely be heard speaking in public.
Maher is connecting their behavior to a broader generational problem of fragility and needing safe spaces from criticism. Queen Elizabeth dealt with 70 years of scrutiny without ever publicly complaining. Harry and Meghan can't go 6 months without another tell-all interview about their struggles.
You're complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird.
It's ridiculous. I totally agree.
They're millionaires living in mansions, complaining about how hard their lives are. The gap between their actual circumstances and their complaints is so absurd, it's almost impressive. Most people would trade places with them in a heartbeat.
And I will not bend the knee and just go along with the nonsense. That's what's so annoying about them. The most of all, they insist that you go along with their nonsense and their insanity and their fragility.
They don't just want to tell their truth, they want forced agreement from everyone else. Question their narrative and you're immediately labeled problematic. That demand for compliance is why even sympathetic people are starting to reject them. The podcast world wasn't finished yet. Comedian Tim Dillon went even harder with his assessment.
They are under the impression they have big thoughts. Big thoughts. Like Meghan and Harry, I've listened to both of them talk. Garden variety retards.
Harry and Meghan act like they're intellectuals offering profound social commentary when they're just rich people complaining with a microphone. They confuse having a platform with having intelligence and confuse being famous with being insightful. The difference matters.
And nobody is a realer housewife than Meghan Markle, who married this ginger retard and took him out of his racist family so that they could live in Beverly Hills or wherever the they live.
When you remove the romance story, Meghan's path looks purely strategic. She jumped from a stalling acting career to global royalty instantly, then sold it as a fairy tale. The Real Housewife comparison works because it's about marrying into money and status rather than creating anything on your own merit. Even respected commentator John Oliver delivered his own damning assessment.
I don't think they will change because I don't think they have the capacity to, but they obviously should.
Oliver's basically saying they're stuck in a loop of their own making. They can't learn, can't grow, can't self-reflect enough to break their patterns. That means everything we're seeing now is what we'll keep seeing forever. While real people were tearing them apart, even fictional characters joined the assault. South Park dedicated an entire episode to them called the Worldwide Privacy Tour. When you become a cartoon villain, you've reached peak cultural rejection.
So let me start with you, sir. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, When?
Harry spent his entire life with every advantage imaginable, yet positions himself as uniquely damaged. South Park's mocking his book shows what everyone thought about Spare. It's just wealthy complaining, packaged as profound memoir writing with zero self-awareness or actual insight.
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?
You can't actively maintain a celebrity career while demanding to be treated like a private citizen. Meghan wants the perks of fame without any of the scrutiny, which isn't how any of this works. Pick one.
What are you suggesting? Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy.
Harry's completely blind to how contradictory their behavior is. Meghan posts constantly on social media for her business ventures, but frames it as wanting privacy. The mental gymnastics required to believe that is Olympic level.
To hell with Canada! We are leaving! We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people! Come on, wife! We want privacy! We want privacy!
Their entire approach to privacy is performative nonsense. They're constantly seeking media attention on their terms while complaining about media attention on anyone else's terms. That's not victimhood, that's just wanting total control. British satire show Spitting Image was equally brutal in depicting their contradictions.
In California, we're just a regular couple living close to Oprah and far from the paparazzi. Woo! But not too far.
Living in Montecito near Celebrity Central while claiming to want privacy from paparazzi exposes their real intentions. They want celebrity adjacency and networking opportunities, not actual seclusion. The location choice was strategic, not about escaping attention.
The best thing is, no more following Granny's rules. Don't wear your pants on your head, Harry. Don't bath on the butler, Harry.
Harry's acting like following basic royal protocols was oppressive when it was literally just structure and purpose. He's treating normal expectations like they were prison rules, which shows how entitled and disconnected from reality he's become.
If I want to play polo in my living room, who's gonna stop me?
Stop that.
right away, Megs.
Harry traded the Queen's authority for Meghan's without gaining any actual independence. He's still being told what to do, where to live, and how to behave. The only difference is who's giving the orders. After all this mockery from every platform, Sharon Osbourne cut through the noise with something different. Actual advice worth hearing.
Should she go to her father? Yes, she should. I didn't talk to my father for 18 years. He used me in his companies and all of that.
Sharon believes Meghan should reconcile with her father, and here's why.
Millions and millions I had to pay because my father got me in the crap. But the situation is, when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I went to him and took care of him because he's my father.
Sharon forgave a father who cost her millions and cared for him through Alzheimer's disease. Thomas Markle staged some embarrassing photos for some quick money that didn't cost Meghan anything. Yet, Sharon went back after real harm, while Meghan maintains a permanent cutoff over embarrassment. Thomas is 81 years old and running out of time. Beyond that, Meghan's refusal to reconcile isn't just hurting her father, it's damaging her children.
You just think about her children. They have no family. They have their grandmother, Meghan's mum. That's it. There's no cousins, no aunts and uncles, no other grandparents. There's 2 little babies that have grown up that will never meet or know their cousins because they're not growing up with them.
Archie and Lilibet are growing up completely isolated from half their heritage. No cousins, no aunts, no uncles, no paternal grandparents. They'll never know their extended family because their mother chose a grudge over connection. That's not protection, that's punishment, and those children will pay the price for it their entire lives. What we've witnessed here is complete cultural rejection across every entertainment platform. Late night hosts, stand-up comedians, podcast hosts, and even animated shows all independently reach the same conclusion: they're insufferable. But unlike everyone else, Sharon Osbourne came out with actual advice rather than just mockery. So what do you guys think of Sharon's advice? Should Meghan reconcile with her father or not? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and subscribe for more royal drama.